Hello and welcome to Arabic language lessons. This is a review and learning suggestion. And as usual, we're going to begin by saying Assalamu alaikum. All right, so those are the two questions we're going to try to answer in this lesson. In case like you as well find them confusing or you would like them to be answered as well. First one has to do with difference between the different verbs. So this is in reference to lesson number 3. So I watched lesson number 3 again, and I'm gonna try to answer this question with something different than what's in lesson 3. Like maybe come at it from a different angle, right? The second one is asking about the root of the word qatala, and I feel like those two questions are very related. So, and we're gonna do them in order of who asked them first. So we're gonna do this one first, and then we're gonna do that one. All right, sounds good. So we know what we're gonna do. All right, let's begin. So yeah, as promised, this is gonna be our overview. We're first gonna try to, tell the difference between the doors or sections, bab, and S. There's more than one. And we're going to give a little bit of information about the word, the action, qatal. This shouldn't be here. 1 second. Yep, it's not going. 1 second. All right, this looks better now. Yeah, the last letter, we're going to leave it empty like this without any moves. So yeah, we're going to talk more about this 3-letter action. And we're going to learn a few good things. All right, so the first question was referring to the doors, al-abwab, of the 3-letter action, or something in English it's called verb, fi'l al-thulathi, right? So this is the past form and this is the present one. So madi, mudari. So we're going to try to come at this from a different angle, like the difference between each door. All right, so let's begin by just separating them a little bit. All right, I think this is very important to note since we're coming at this from a different angle. So first one is past, and the second one is present. All right, so this is the very important step. Second step is, in Arabic we have something called tashkil, meaning like there'll be, if you have to refer to lesson 2. Watch lesson 2, understand the moves, and then come back. All right. So now that hopefully you went and you came back, we begin we're gonna begin letter by letter. All right. So first thing is the fa, this letter. This is the first letter we're going to begin with. Fa. All right. So those are our options, right? With the first letter, fa. We can either have it stationary, we can have it close, dhamma, or we can have it break, kasra, or we can have a fatha, right? The first one we cannot have, because Arabs do not begin with a stationary letter. So this cannot work because we just don't do it, right? Now, also, the second one and the third we cannot have because it's heavy. It's heavy to begin with a close or a dhamma. It's also heavy to begin with a kasra. So we cannot have that one and we cannot have that one. Meaning that it will always be open. It will always be a fatha. It will always be this one. So in this regard, in this letter, with this letter, we do not have any variation. It's always going to be opened, the past, see? Always. It's always going to be this one. All right, so now let's move to the other letter, the middle letter. All right, so with the second letter, the a, the one in the middle, with those four options, the first option, we cannot have it because we might encounter, like we don't want, should I even tell you this? Yeah, I will tell you. But it's not important if you don't get it because we haven't really talked about it yet. Like we don't have lessons to reference. But there's something called an attached pronoun. So we don't want the attached pronoun to cause us to have two stationary letters together, right? Like فعلت, فعلت. The ta here is called an attached pronoun. By the way, فعلت means I did. I will have a lesson for it. Hopefully, I will link it. So don't worry about that. Just know that we're not supposed to have two we can't have this option because that will cause us to have two stationary letters meeting. Like I'll give you an example. As you can see in this example, كتبت, the last letter, which would take the place of the lam, or the lam would take his place, is a sakin. It's not moving, it's stationary. So we cannot have the a be also stationary, which will cause two stationary letters to be next to each other. And that just cannot happen. So because of that, this option doesn't exist. We don't have it. So the a cannot be stationary, but can be open or broken or close. So you can have a dhamma or a kasra or a fatha. All right, so now that we have our three options for the past, we move to the present. And in the present, we're going to have the ya always open, and the fa is going to be stationary. Oh, yes. Now, sorry, I forgot to mention that the last letter of those two words, or the last letter of any word, we would have to leave it for now without anything, because it has to do something called i'rab. I'rab. There's something called i'rab, and there's something called mabni. And this is for another lesson. Like, I don't want to get too much into it before we do the lesson and explain it like step by step. But the whatever move is on the last letter will have to do with i'rab. So it doesn't have to do with what's I really don't want to say too much about the i'rab, but for now, just trust me, we're gonna leave the last letter without any move until I finish doing the i'rab and mabni lessons. Maybe we'll do them together, maybe we'll just have i'rab in one lesson and mabni in another lesson. But once you understand this, you'll understand why I left it without any moving, right? All right, inshallah. Let's say inshallah together. All right, so we left this one without any moving, without any moves, the lam, and also this lam, because it's the last letter, we're going to leave it without any moves until it gets into a sentence and it gets a move, right? So it has to do with the i'rab, which leaves us with this one. This one is the one that's going to have variation. This it's going to have variation. So it will either be open or broken or closed. So or or u. So يفعل, يفعل, يفعل. So those are our variations. Those three would look like that. And how do we match this column with this column is by like finding to see if it exists or not. I think that's what they did. And they realized that فعل can فعل in the past can be يفعل in the present and can be يفعل in the present and can be يفعل. So those three matched. And let's just add some line. All right, so after adding a little bit of lines for visuals, you can see like what we end up with. Yeah, this is a good picture. Yes, when I said like when that it accepts it, meaning that if they find a verb or an action that looks like this in the past, in the present it could look like any of those three, right? That's what it means. So you might find another verb that looks like this in the past, and then it would look like that in the present. And you find another one that looks like this in the past, and it looks like that in the present, and so forth. So that's basically like the verb came before the rule, if you know what I mean. Like they did not like make the rule and then stop making words up. I don't know, like this is how it works. Like people start speaking, I guess, and then someone came along, like if you guys remember from lesson 3, Abu al-Aswad al-Du'ali, and he like, you know, it's like, okay, this is the rules, guys. But the words came before, right? I think. I'm not sure. We'll find out when we die. But let's continue. Let's continue the lesson. Yes, so the verbs that look like this in the past could either look like this or that, right? So there is no closing. So when it's fa'il, it cannot be yaf'ul, cannot be. It can either be yaf'al or yaf'il, right? Those two. And yaf'ul, sorry, fa'ul can only be yaf'ul. You see how it works? So, okay, how many are those? 6. Yeah, we got 6 variations. Yeah, we have 6 variations. And what else should we explain? Yeah, the naming. So what happened is those 6 variations, instead of calling them fa'ala, yaf'ul, or 2, fa'ala, yaf'il, 3, fa'ala, they gave each one of them a name. So, you know, different scholars name them differently. And so, you know, I think the last time we gave the examples of Ar-Razi, maybe we should give someone else's example. So I'll give more examples of the verbs. Next. All right, so those are the examples I promised. I took them from an article by a professor from the University of Babylon, Sha'lan al-Yasri. That's his name. Just wanted to reference because he's the one that collected this in one article. He collected those roots. So you can see like the convention, the naming convention is different than the one that Razi used, right? You can see like the naming is different of each door. And I just wanted to give different names because I want you to realize that the names are just names. Like someone just picked one of the examples as the name. Someone else can use like some other example. Like someone might come and say, well, the first door is going to be Rasam. He will pick this one, you know, or someone else will pick this one, and so forth. So just so you know, I will include this in the PDF that's going to be uploaded with this lesson, and you can do it. One of the homeworks, something that you can do is you can download this, print it, and then with each example you can do it yourself. Like take each one of these and make it like this one at the top. You know, like add the tashkil, add the moves on top of each one of. And here when you see like there's 2 words between the commas, the second one is just to let you know what the first word meant. When he says waritha al-mal, when it says al-mal means the money. So it's just letting you know what the first one really meant. So when you do the exercise, do it with the first one. Forget the second one. If there's a second one, forget it. It's just to let you know the meaning. All right, so this is the example. Don't forget, you can do this at home. All right, so, oh, look. Our second question, the word was qatala. So brother Zain al-Abidin wanted to know more about this word, and it's from this door. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a better method so you can do it with other words. So we're going to do qatal, and how about we do some other word too. All right, so this is my favorite website, one of my favorite websites, Al-Maani. And once you go there, if you, you know, I'm not sure how good your Arabic is, brother Zain al-Abidin, but it's in English too. Like if you click English here, you can see it. See, it's in English, and there's other languages too. But most importantly here, like if you click Arabic, and you can put the word here, qatala, right? This is the root, 3-letter. You can put it, and it gives us a mu'jam. So it's not a qamus. Is this word means dictionary. Mu'jam is something equivalent to a dictionary, similar to a dictionary, kind of. Yeah. I mean, you could say it's a dictionary. Anyways, that's not why we're here. We're here to see this word, qatal, right? Qatala, yeah. This is the word. Once you add the tashkil, it becomes the word. Here is just a root. Could be qatala, or number 2. You can see here. Could be qatl, which is something else. It's masdar. Could be this. Number 3. When you add a shadda in the middle, it's something else, and so forth. Like here, it's an ism, similar to this one. Yeah, this one is an ism. But once you add the tashkil, those two, on those 2 first letters, it becomes the word you're looking for. And what I really wanted you to see is this line. This line is very important. Why? Because see here, it gives you the forms that you were looking for. When you asked, it's like, I think it was the first comment that you wrote. You were mentioning about the maf'ul and fa'il, and you know, based on the lessons that I have on YouTube, right? So qatala gives you here, it's like once you put this qatala, it tells you in bracket that it's a fa'il, could be an ism, right? Other one, this one is an ism when it's like that, when there's a sukoon in the middle. See that? But it tells you that this one, number 1, qatala, is a fa'il. And then the first line gives you the form. So qatala, that's the madi. Yaqtul, that's the present, ضارع. And we haven't done this one. The third one, فهو قاتل, that's the fa'il, because it's saying فهو. Then he is قاتل, so that's the fa'il. As it says والمفعول مقتول وقتيل. So qatil is like an attribute. مقتول is the done upon. قاتل is the action doer. And you have يقتل, which is the present form. قتل, and that's the past form. So this line is exactly what you're looking for, I think. Let me know in the comment section if it's exactly what you're looking for or not. So it's a great website. You should check it out. So we said we're going to try something else. So the faqada, it's another word we're going to try. Put it there. And it shows up right here. So Again, the first one, فقد فعل, tells us here that what it is, if it's a fi'l or an ism, it's an action. And similar to what we saw before. So the first line has all the forms. See the first line highlighted in green? The rest is meanings. So the second line here is a meaning, and then another meaning, and then another meaning, and so forth. But the first line, I think, is exactly what you were looking for. How to find the forms of the word. So you have فقد يفقد. So this is, based on this, you can put it in a door, right? Put it in one of the doors. And the things in the middle, don't worry about them here, the second thing. But here, you know it's from the faqid is the action doer. والمفعول, meaning the done upon, مفقود. And then you have an attribute here, faqid. Right? So isn't that great? Anyways, so I hope this was helpful to you, brother. And let me know if it was helpful, or if you still have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section. All right, I didn't really plan on this becoming a long lesson or a review lesson. Yeah, let's call it review lesson. But yeah, if you remember at the beginning when we were somewhere around here, yeah, when we started with this, I said a few things like Arabs don't begin with a stationary letter. You know, I wrote them down in English so you can keep them, you know, and you can download this PDF in descriptions. Anyway, so we gotta, you know, say thank you to the two people, Sister Aisha and Brother Zain Al-Abidin, for asking good questions. And, you know, this lesson was made. And, you know, sorry if it's long, but I hope you learned something from it. Hope it was useful. And yeah, don't forget, you know, share with your friends. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. If it's something that we mentioned in the lessons, I would try to direct you to it. But, you know, anyways, I am gonna try to keep my videos shorter than 15 minutes, probably in the future. Because I haven't, YouTube is saying that it's gonna cancel a YouTube video editor, and it's the place where I join my videos. Like I make them in pieces and then I join them in one. That's why, you know, you can find like my lesson 1 was less than like less than 15, equal or less than 15 minutes, but then suddenly you have like half an hour lesson because I discovered the YouTube editor. But they're saying that they're gonna cancel it in September 20th or something. Anyways, مع السلامة.